Hello, leaders, and welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges, the daily show that helps you leverage conflict to master your leadership while growing your business. Well, hey, today I want to talk just a little more about identity and how personal identity may create conflict with team identity and how getting a handle on this early can result in greater productivity. So last week, we dove into personal identity and how everyone is different. From coworkers to family members, everyone has slightly different values and beliefs and specific roles that make up their identity. After last week, you should have a great idea of what your identity is and how to avoid challenging or threatening other people's identity. But what about when we're talking about your team's identity? How can we prevent all the different individual identities from being threatened or challenged and minimize conflict before it even begins to escalate? Well, it takes a little time and effort from everyone on your team. And the sooner that you can all sit down and complete these few things, the better off that you'll have a crystal clear team identity. So today, I'm going to cover the first two questions that you can ask your team when you are all assembled together. And yes, this can occur even now while you're all telecommuting or working virtually. Simply have your entire team log on to Zoom or Skype or any other video conferencing that is available. And by the way, it is very important that you can all see each other. Now, the way the questions are asked is in a brainstorming format. In other words, one person asks the question and the entire group starts replying back. And one person writes everything down. That's the number one rule of brainstorming. Write everything down at first. Once you have all the answers written down, you can go back through the answers and begin eliminating ones that people deem worthy of being eliminated. So the first question is, when it comes right down to it, what makes your team successful? A different way of asking this may be, how do we know we are being successful as a team? So brainstorm it as a team. And be sure to get input from every team member. No exceptions. Direct question your quiet members and give them time to answer. Maybe give them a minute or two to think about it, or just say up front that everyone must contribute. The second question is closely tied to the first question, and it's, what makes our team unsuccessful? How will we know if our team is unsuccessful? Again, brainstorm and get input from everyone. After you have everyone's input, start eliminating certain things on the list. Now, with this second question, it's very important not just to look at the list that you named from the first question and just say everything opposite of that. Really think about it and come up with specific things that will identify if your team is successful or unsuccessful. Here's a very important step. In order for something to be eliminated, it must have 100% approval. And only the minority can justify whether it should stay or be removed. In other words, if you have 12 team members and 9 say it needs to be removed and 3 say it needs to stay, only the 3 people that want it to stay can justify why it should stay. So give them time to justify it, then have some discussion as a team about it and have another vote. And the best way that I've found to vote on this is simply have everybody either hold a thumbs up for keep the idea or thumbs down to remove the idea. And this is very visual too if you're all looking at each other. After you've narrowed the list down to your top 3 to 5 ideas or thoughts, you now have your team's identity on how and what makes your team successful and how and what makes your team unsuccessful. And the cool thing is, everybody agreed on this 100%. This is when it starts to get really good. But we're going to pick up right there tomorrow, so be sure to come back and listen tomorrow for the next 2 questions. Hey, all of this is included in our latest program called Conflict Leadership. This is a 9-month deep dive leadership program that will include weekly training videos, live Zoom calls, monthly individual coaching sessions, and a live meetup with the whole group. If you want additional info on this program, please drop me an email at paul@clcteam.com and let's set up a free 15-minute call. Oh, I almost forgot. If you want to receive a free career coaching box set that includes the #1 bestseller book and workbook, 48 Days to the Work You Love by Dan Miller, and a DISC assessment, please be one of the first 5 to share this podcast from the Current Leadership Coaching Facebook page. I share the podcast on the page every day, so just go to that page, click on the link, and share it. This box set is at least $199 value, and it's totally free for the first 5 people who share the podcast from the Facebook page. It's just one way that I want to add value and help a few of you get through this challenging time we're going through. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and until tomorrow, run to your challenges.